We have a YouTube channel that we're going to be posting to, so that's going to be made publicly available, but it's also mainly for our members who are international, which we'll get into later. So having your cameras on, again, it shows that you want to be here, but it's important for um, the videos, which are going to be shared with USC staff, by the way. So we want to show them that we're an active club, that we're actually doing things, that people are actually willing to be here. And then again, so I can see you guys as well. Um, when you have your cameras on, you're probably looking at yourself too. So it takes away a little focus from me, a little better for me, I guess. But yeah, they're not really looking at you. I promise you. Maybe one other person could see you if they see you on their side of the screen, but they're really just looking at me. So don't worry about it too much. Um, and I'm not looking at the Slack right now. So if anybody's asking questions, please let me know. You can answer for them. Please share the link with them. I already did. I don't know if they're joining. So we'll move on. My name is Samian Syed. I'm the Executive Director and Program Coordinator of USC Neuro Scholars. I shared a short introduction with you guys before, but I am a rising senior from Los Angeles, California. I'm really passionate about neuroscience and psychology. I have conducted research on neurodegeneration, and we're undergoing publication. So one of the professors that you guys have seen on the flyers or that you've seen in the Slack, which I'll go over in a bit, is my mentor, and we are publishing research together. And we went to the 2026 Los Angeles County Science and Engineering Fair. I won a recognition there. Um, I'm a community leader. I really, just believe in helping students out. I'm recognized by the nation's second largest district. I push scholarship initiatives and equitable opportunities for nearly 500,000 students in LA County. And I created a mental health awareness and sharing platform, which was accepted into the LA Expo as a finalist project. So just a little bit of background, um, not too important. So I want to introduce our mentors, our professors. I'm pretty sure most of you guys really came here for them. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it today, but in the future meetings, they will be here. So please stay tuned. They do have a big role, and we'll go over stuff later. Our first mentor is Dr. Rustin Rust. He's an assistant professor of physiology and neuroscience at the Keck School of Medicine at USC. He's a principal investigator at the Zilka Neurogenetic Institute and the Institute of Regenerative Medicine at the University of Zurich in Switzerland. But he is here in California, and his research is really focused on stem cell therapies for brain injuries, such as strokes. So a little bit focused on the therapeutic side. Dr. Sharice Winston, she's the second supervising mentor. She's my mentor for research. She's also an assistant professor at the University of Southern California. She lives in San Diego. She used to be a professor for UC San Diego. She received her bachelor's in biochemistry from the University of Virginia, and she has her master's and PhD from Georgetown. And her main research is racial and ethnic disparities in Alzheimer's disease, which is actually something that we've been working on. I'll go over that later. But it's really great research. I think neuroscience is really a broad topic, and you guys will really learn a lot from this. Okay. So as many of you guys have asked, I did already say this in the Slack a couple times, but there are over 2,000 applicants and less than 200 admissions. We have an acceptance rate of around 8%. So you guys being here, it really is a remarkable feat. You guys are super impressive. You guys all have a different background, a different story, and you guys were compelling enough to be admitted into this. When the professors and I looked at the applications, we really focused on people who had a story to tell and who were interested in neuroscience. And so, maybe you feel like you didn't meet that criteria, but clearly you did, because out of over 2,000 international applications, you made it here. So I really want to stress that you guys are impressive and you guys made it here through your hard work. And, don't undermine that. You guys are here for a reason, right? Okay. So I mentioned this before. The reason we have a Slack community open with public and private channels are because we're inviting people who had maybe a really good application, but just weren't admitted. So they're really, really competitive. We're going to invite them to the Slack community so they have a guiding resource as well. We're trying to help as many people as possible. So again, I mentioned we have around 200 people here. We're going to invite a couple hundred more just to the Slack so they can view our resources. They can view our videos, our meeting videos, and they can learn a little bit more about neuroscience through this Slack community resource. We're just trying to help as many people as we can. So we're going to get a little bit to admission statistics. We already talked about the admissions rate, but I want to talk about applicants. So we have from the United States alone, we have people from Alabama, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut. I can go on and on, but the list is huge. People from pretty much every state. We're only missing like three states, I believe, and that's crazy. Sure, it's 2,000 applicants, but these are real people from real backgrounds, from real cities. Urban, suburban, rural. You guys are from everywhere, and it's crazy that you guys are here. Did I miss New Jersey? I'm so sorry. What's up, my New Jersey people? But then again, these are just the United States applicants. We also have our international applicants, and this is an even bigger list. It's kind of crazy. Honestly, it's super shocking to me that we have applicants from this many countries. The USA, India, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Canada. The list really goes on. You guys can read it here, and I will share the meeting slides with you guys. Some of these are like crazy countries. We have some from North America, like you have USA, you have Mexico, you have Canada, and we have some from like South America. We have Brazil, Paraguay, Colombia, and we're all the way to Asia over there. We have Hong Kong, Japan, China, and then obviously our European countries. You have like the UK. It's so crazy. We have Ireland. There's so many countries here. I want you guys to say in chat where you guys are from. If you're from, the US, just say US. If you're from a different country, we do have a lot of international applicants, so it's super interesting to see where you guys are from. You guys can say your state as well. It's clearly pretty US focused, but yeah, I see some people. I see Spain. I see the Philippines. That's awesome. Okay, that's super cool, guys. Okay, so what are you guys going to be doing? We're talking a lot about admission statistics, but what is your job here? So the focus of this program is for you guys to analyze research papers, break down the specifics of research, and learn about neuroscience. So this program is called USC Neuro Scholars, but it's really more focused on research. The reason we're prioritizing neuroscience is because we have neuroscience professors, so we can better help you in that aspect. But I think research is the biggest thing that you can do as a high schooler for, admission chances into college, but also to really push an initiative that helps people in the broader aspect, right? Research is super impactful. It's a growing thing, and recently it's been declining a lot because students don't know how to do research. And so that's something that we're trying to help people do. And you guys will begin a capstone project. So you can see on the right here, I did a capstone project my year, which was last year. And I got mine put into our website as a mini publication. So I see people asking about publications. While we can't help grant you guys publications through your capstone projects ourselves, you guys can definitely publish them yourself. You guys can go out of your way. But what we will do is offer mini publications. So we will have our website open for you guys to put your research in. And so if you also have an independent project ongoing, you guys can do it from there. Okay, so our icebreaker. So I'm gonna have to actually switch screens for this. I'll probably just use my phone actually. What I want you guys to do is instead of our Zoom chat, because I want you guys to be able to see this later and come back to it, I want you guys to go to the Slack channel right now. I want you guys to go to the admitted scholars chat, and I'm going to ask you guys a question there, and I'm going to read it out loud as well, and then I'm going to have you guys answer there. So that way you guys can reply to other people, you guys can see it after the meeting, and we can really gauge interests, okay? So don't type in it right now. I see people typing. I'm going to send something, and then we'll have people talk, okay? Okay, so I have the question typed out. I'm gonna send it. But before I send it, before you guys answer, I want you guys to listen real quick. I want you guys to think about this question. I don't want it to be like a short answer. It's not a race who answers it first. It's also not a I'm gonna be nonchalant and answer last, so everyone sees my answer last. No one cares. Um, so I want you guys to think, and then I want you guys to answer. So the question is, what is the accomplishment you're most proud of right now? Don't be afraid to share. So a lot of the time people are really closed up about what their proudest accomplishment is. I want you guys to be, specific and talk about why you're proud of it. Not this isn't a resume. I don't want you to say, you know how college applications you have to really make things numerical. I don't want you to say, I did this with 200,000 people and 5,000 people did this and 50, I raised $500. I don't care about that. I want you to just tell me why you're proud of it and what impact it had, right? People are really afraid to share because they don't want to come off as bragging. They don't want to, they want to be nonchalant. But everyone is proud of something, right? And I want you guys to be able to share that pride. And then the reason we're doing it in the Slack channel, so I can see it, I'm going to respond to a couple of them, and so you guys can see it as well. And just to get started, I'll share first. Obviously, the thing I'm most proud of is the USC Neuro Scholars Program. I could talk statistics, I could talk numbers, but I don't really care about that. I'm helping people from all over the world learn about research and neuroscience. And to me, that's such a big accomplishment to me, but it's such a beautiful thing to help people do something that they're not able to do, right? I know a lot of our participants today are from the US, so maybe it's a little bit different. You have opportunities that are readily available, but a lot of our applicants are from, all over the world, from different places where they don't have research opportunities like this. So this is something I'm really proud of, and I'm glad that you guys are here as well. So I'll give you guys a couple, maybe like 2 more minutes to get that in, and then we'll move on. And then if you already did send one, I want you guys to just read through somebody's accomplishment and just comment on it. So, tell them why, and ask them why they're proud of it. Maybe just like congratulate them, share something. If you see something that's relatable to you, or like, you know, that you have also done, you can share that as well. And this isn't a time to compare yourselves. I don't want you guys to see others' accomplishments and go, wow, you know, I'm worse than this person. I'm better than this person. Because you're really not. You guys are all your own person. You guys all made it into this program. So you guys all have a story to tell. You guys all have an accomplishment to share, right? So we'll go for another minute. I want you guys to go share in that channel. And honestly, I see really good accomplishments here. And feel free to share whatever you guys want. This is the time that you guys have to yourselves to share. Again, this is the one time I'm asking you guys to kind of brag. It's not bragging because I'm asking you to do it. Okay. So we got to 3:35. You guys, if you're not done, please go ahead and do that. I'm not stopping you guys from doing that. I see really, really good accomplishments here. It's so, you know, and I don't want you guys to compare yourselves. Okay. This is something that is meant to appreciate others, right? This is the most important thing. It's gratitude, right? Be proud of yourself, and then, have empathy and be proud for others. I don't want you to compare yourselves. I'm seeing these and I'm like, wow. I'm not going to compare myself and be like, that's something that I could have done. That's something that you're much better than me. It's not like that. So we're going to move on from the icebreaker. If you're not done, just keep going. And if you haven't replied to somebody yet, we'll do that afterward. So I want you guys to answer, what does neuro mean? Can somebody, can someone raise their hand with the Zoom feature and then answer, or you can type it in chat. I want you guys to answer what neuro means. And I don't want you to look it up. I want you to just tell me right now, what do you think neuro means? All right. Camilla, do you want to share? I see a lot of chat answers, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, neuro is like the medical prefix. I get it confused with the other term for like, but I think it's prefix for like referring to like the brain, the nervous tissue, and the nervous system.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong
Thank you
about
so
the
much.
part. Sorry.
Awesome. All right. So you guys can lower your hands now. I think we've got enough answers. The most popular answer is brain, right? And I want to tell you guys that that's a misconception. Neuro is not only the brain, and it doesn't really even mean the brain. Neuro means nerve, right? And so the reason neuroscience research is so imperative is because people think it's just the brain. And although your brain controls everything, your nervous system is all throughout your body. And so neurons, people think they're brain cells, but that's not true. Neurons are everywhere in your body. They're in your hands, they're in your legs, they're in your chest, they're everywhere, right? They regulate everything you do. And the reason that's so important is because you can really do anything and your nervous system is involved, and that means that neuro is involved. So whatever research you could do or you're trying to do, neuroscience is it's related. And neuroscience is typically related to the brain because the brain is like it's like the admin of the nervous system, right? Whenever you do something with the nervous system, it typically goes to the brain and then comes back as a response. But sometimes that's not true. So, for example, if I touch like a boiling pot of water and I've touched it, my first instinct would be like wince, I'd feel pain. That's not actually your brain doing that. It's your spinal cord, which is part of your nervous system. That causes you to, react and flinch. And then a few seconds later, your brain processes that and feels the pain. And then maybe your nervous system starts sending receptors, you might blister there, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, Lydia, we will end later since we started a bit late. If you guys can't make it past 4, that's okay. Again, oh my God, are we recording? Okay, yeah, we are recording. So I'm going to send out the recording. So if you can't make it past then that's okay. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking about meeting dates. Here is our really important on the focus tentative meeting dates. The reason everything is so tentative is because our professors are very busy. And so I want you guys to get as much experience to engage with them as possible. So these meetings are kind of where they're available. A few of them are where they're not, but we do have to get through to this program. So today is July 26th. This is our first meeting. Our next 2 meetings are both on Sundays. They're actually just a week apart from each other. They're also 3 to 4 p.m. So that's okay. And then these 2 meetings that come after the 2 Sundays, we have Friday and Monday. Those 2 meetings, our professors should be available. And that's why we have them a little earlier. And the reason we don't have it during that weekend is because that is SAT weekend. Um, can you guys write in the chat if you're taking the SAT? Because I personally am. I'm taking the August SAT. If you're taking it as well, let me know in the chat. I think that's super cool. And for that reason, we don't want you guys to be too stressed on focusing on this meeting. So we have a meeting a week before, not even during that weekend, and then right after on that Monday. So again, there's a lot of you guys taking the SAT, right? So we don't want to disrupt you guys. Okay. Another question we had was, is this an official program? And the answer is yes. So we're not an official USC corporate program. We're not on their website. We have our own separate website, but we are recognized officially by the USC Keck School of Medicine and their faculty, the USC Pre-College Online Office, the USC Summer Programs Office, and the USC Office of Youth Protection and Programming. So this is an official USC program. We're allowed to use the USC name. We're under USC officially. And so it's important that we have that clarification because a lot of you guys are like, well, maybe they're just using the USC name. And there are some programs that do that, but I want to emphasize that this is an official program. We do have actual professors, and then I'll get into a little more on why we're actually affiliated with a lot of these official USC representatives. Awesome. So this is why. We're hoping to do an in-person capstone symposium at the USC Keck School of Medicine. So I want you guys to stay in chat. I know a lot of you guys are international. Maybe you don't live in California or even near the Los Angeles area, but if we do host an in-person meeting at USC Keck School of Medicine, which we're pretty much confirmed to do, I can't say that we are, but we're pretty much confirmed to do it. Let me know in chat if you're able to attend. We do want as many of you guys to attend as possible, to listen to either the professors and also present your capstone projects. And there's only going to be a select few. Okay, I see a lot of yeses. That's really great. Camilla, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, what time is it at?
So it's going to be in the morning, likely. So probably from like 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. If we need to move it a little bit further into the afternoon, we can. We're going to ask you guys what works best for you guys. But we pretty much have that whole day reserved for us. And then for those of you asking if it's online or in person, it's in person, but we're going to do a hybrid Zoom little thing where we record the meeting on Zoom, so you guys can join there as well. Lydia, you have a question?
Yeah, do you know where it'll be like held? Like in California, is that what you said?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you know where it's going to be held?
Yeah, the USC Keck School of Medicine. So it's a separate campus from USC itself. I want you guys to go into your maps and search up USC Keck School of Medicine. It's not too far. It's like around a 20-minute drive from the main USC campus, but it's in the Los Angeles area. Vijval?
Yeah, sorry, what day is this?
September 5th. It's
Okay.
planned for September 5th at the moment. Mikkel, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, you pronounced it correctly. Would a certain amount of people be selected to present in person?
Yeah, so we're gonna have as many people come as possible so they can, see others present and they can also listen to the professors. This is a great experience for, listening to the professor seminars. They don't really present that often, so it's a rare opportunity. But yeah, we're unfortunately not able to have everybody present the capstone project. So I'll get into a little bit more on how we select that and who's going to be selected. But only a select few students will be able to present. Yeah. Amaya, if I'm pronouncing that correct, you can correct me.
Yeah, you're right. How many people will be like selected to present at the meeting?
So we're not sure yet. We're still doing things with USC administrative staff. So we have to figure out how many we have time for, how many we're allotted for. But as many as possible, right? So maybe around, even like 20 people to present. But if we do that many people, you have to think about the time limits. Are you able to sit through 20 people presenting and then go after that? How viable is it really? And then how long could your presentation be? Because if you have a 5-minute presentation and 20 people are presenting, that's like an hour and 40 minutes, right? And that's if we're perfectly on time. Maybe we're a little bit behind, a little bit ahead. There's that little bit of, intermission between getting slides up and stuff. It's going to take a while, and we have to still get the presenters, the professors to present and stuff like that. So I'll confirm that at a later date, but right now expect around like 20 people. Perfect. Okay. And so again, you can see the official USC covered staff list right here. This is an official USC event. And for those of you guys asking at the bottom, we don't have travel options for you guys, unfortunately. I want to stress again that this is a program led like solely by me. And so I know a lot of you guys were stressed and really upset and frustrated about admissions results. I talked about that again. It's mainly me. I mean, the professors did help with reviewing, but it's pretty much me who had to read through over 2,000 applications. And so unfortunately, we can't help you guys with travel. Um, so if you do have a really good capstone project and you can't present, unfortunately, you can't travel there, but we might have you present virtually. Rhea?
Yeah, so it says that we'll present our ongoing research, so we'll be making like research papers individually, like all 200 of us.
So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're all going to be working on a capstone project. And so there's two options for the capstone project. I'll go over that in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to just go over that shortly. Um, Before I talk about the capstone project, we're going to talk about leadership roles. And so the reason I'm focusing on this is because, again, I just mentioned it's just me here. And so if you're a former member of the club, could you guys type in the chat? I know there's a couple of you guys. I'm not sure how many of you guys there are. Most of our members are new members. So you can type in chat if you are a former member. If you're not, it's okay. But for next year, we are finding people to be a part of our leadership team. So the program coordinator role, that's basically me. Social media team, the meeting content, which is the slides, and then an admissions team. For no particular reason, we need an admissions team. I don't know why we would need that, but I think you guys can assume. But I know that through my emails, you guys may have noticed that my role has changed from program coordinator to executive director. So the professors appointed me a higher role because I really revamped the program. It used to be called the High School Neuroscience Journal Club. If you looked at our website link, it's really long. This other guy made it who was the founder before. And then it kind of just goes on year to year, but then they left all the responsibility to me. I had to pay for stuff. I had to get advertising out. And when we have the program coordinator for next year, the reason I'm going to stay on as the executive director is so I can help you guys out. I don't want you guys to be alone through that process. It was definitely a struggle to do that alone, and I don't want you guys to go through that. So obviously that's the golden role here, the program coordinator role. I know pretty much all of you want to be that role, if you want to continue it on. If for our seniors here, maybe you don't want to be that. I'm going to be a rising senior, and so we want to pass on the mantle to everybody who has a chance. So if you are a senior, you guys can do that, but we're probably looking for juniors to do that so then they can pass it on to a junior next year. Okay, so how do you get recognized? Again, this is important for the leadership roles and for the capstone that I mentioned. You have to be active, be kind, help out, attend the meetings. This is super important. Attend the meetings. Cameras on. Right? We want to see you guys. If I don't know what you look like, how can I, safely say that, you're a good choice for program coordinator? And then complete tasks. I'll talk about that later. Tasfia, I don't know where Sunwoo went for college, but I know he got accepted into a lot of great colleges. He's interested in liberal arts. And for those of you guys who don't know what Sunwoo is, that is our previous program coordinator. He was a really amazing person. Um, and yeah, he passed it off to me. And for those of you guys asking what the journal club is, it's just the same thing as the Neuro Scholars program, but it was a much smaller thing. There was only like 50 people, only like 100 people, 200 people maybe applied. So it was not that much there. And no, you don't have to be a former member to be part of leadership roles. So I'll talk more about that later. Okay, and then more on recognitions. It's not just for leadership roles. Our highly performing scholars will receive recognition. So the top 15, currently it's 15, it might be less, it might be more. The top 15 students will receive a commendation certificate from the professors and I on behalf of USC Neuro Scholars. So it's an official certificate from USC. It's quite a nice thing to have. So getting recognized can also help you present your capstone project specifically at the in-person symposium. I had maybe like 40 people say yes, they can attend, maybe more than that. So clearly there's a lot of people willing to attend. If you want to present your capstone project specifically, first of all, you need to have a pretty good project. We'll go over that in our later meetings. And then you have to be active. So do something that's going to get you recognized, right? Be active, be kind. Again, I went over this. Attend the meetings and really just be a helpful and kind person. And I promise you guys want that certificate. They rarely sign things. It's hard for me to get signatures from them because they're so busy. But for these certificates, it's a big thing. This is the first year we're doing it, so we want you guys to have that opportunity. Okay, so what is the capstone project like? So again, I talked about this before, and then I'm gonna go over it now. So there's two options for the capstone project. It's either a guided literature review. So a literature review is a really simple research process. You just ask a question, and then you form a hypothesis, and then you're like, okay, how can I answer this research question? And you go online, you find sources, and then you find a way to guide your answer. I'll talk about that more later. We'll talk about the capstone project. We'll talk about specific sections. We'll talk about how you can start using your literature review and start, forming a hypothesis. There's different types of hypotheses. There's different sections for research. And then we'll talk more about the research publication sites and important databases like PubMed. If you know what PubMed is, then you're off to a pretty good start. If you don't know what that is, it's completely okay. We'll go over that. Our second option, and this is the reason we accepted you guys from a lot of different backgrounds. Some of you guys are complete beginners. Some of you guys are really advanced and you've already had research publications. You can submit your own ongoing research project. And so the reason that's a big thing is because we have the many publications going on. For a lot of you guys, getting into a journal is super difficult, right? Getting published by yourself is so hard. And although it's not an official publication, we want you guys to have that sort of experience with a mini publication so you can kind of gauge what's going to happen when you do official research ongoing at an official undergraduate institution. And so if you have your own research ongoing right now, I actually want you to type in the chat if you're doing research right now. You're doing your own independent research project, and that's something that you're working on. Obviously, I don't want you to be worried on a literature review, a measly literature review when you have a big research project. But if you don't have a research project, a literature review is a great start. Again, you guys have a lot of things going on, so I want you guys to be able to submit that research project. And I see someone asked if it's not related to neuro. If it's not related to neuro, I want you to try to see if you could do a literature review that's focused on neuro to present, but that we can also have your official research project publicated on our website, just so you have that experience. We're focused on research, so if it's not about neuro, it's okay. It's fine, all right? But there's a lot of you doing independent research. So again, our capstone projects will be posted on our website as a mini publication. That's a big thing that we're doing, and we want that experience for you guys. Okay, some admissions tips. So this is pretty helpful. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super helpful for our seniors because when you're doing college admissions, it's completely different from doing an application for a summer program. But I have some feedback as someone who read through literal thousands of applications. The biggest thing, and I made sure that all of you did this, please put your last name. I'm going to just tell you right now, whoever did not put a last name, they were instantly rejected. I didn't even read through their application. If you don't put your last name on an application, I don't know who you are, right? I mean, you could really be anybody. How can I admit you into our summer program? how can I let you come onto USC campus as a student and I don't even know your last name, right? That's such an important thing. Thankfully, all of you guys did that. I think it kind of speaks on your experience as well. If you don't put your last name, maybe you kind of don't know what you're doing. That's super important. If I say to put your name, I expect your last name, right? The second thing is use a hook. This is super important. I think the really highly rated applications, I messaged a couple people. They had really good hooks, and that's so big. And this is for really any sort of application. Use a hook to get your reader interested. A lot of you guys are started with, I'm interested in blank, and I want to do blank. I want to join USC Neuro Scholars, and that's okay. You guys still made it. You guys were compelling enough to make it here. But for those people who started with a story, they really, they really relied on a narrative to push their application. Those were so much stronger, and they were admitted in, right? And I want you guys to focus on that for college admissions, for applications for other programs. It's really, really helpful, and I want you guys to use hooks. Uh, Third thing, make sure your email is correct. A lot of you guys had incorrect emails. I had to go back personally, and this is another reason admissions were delayed. There were so many people who put their email either wrong or they've listed multiple emails there. If an application asks for an email section, please only put your email. Don't put like email or email or email or email and then like in parentheses, please use this one or some of you guys may have done that. I accepted you guys anyways because your applications were strong enough, but when you do that, it makes it super impossible to send multiple messages to people or to send you an email through, an automated system. And I had to do everything manually, right? Um, okay, fourth one, this one's a little funny. Make sure your email profile picture and name are professional. I did have to send out rejections and acceptances to people who um, maybe their name wasn't super professional. I got emails from people asking me about their application status, and I opened my phone and I see John Pork on my email list. Um, I see like a picture of maybe something not super, appropriate. Oops. Okay. We'll get to that. That's not really appropriate to have when you're emailing someone who's going to accept you into a program, right? And then lastly, write a descriptive but brief. One big thing that the professors emphasized was having no word count specified on our project, or sorry, on our application. And so a lot of you guys asked, how many words should I use? Should I use like 200, 300? Should I use 1,000? We didn't specify for a reason. We want to see how you guys can, portray your story and narrative without a word limit. Do you have enough storytelling in you to tell your entire story and let us admit you within 300 or so words, right? And so a lot of you guys wrote like 200 words. Some of you guys wrote like 500. Some of you guys wrote up to 1,000 words, right? And I had to read through the 1,000 words. Oh my God. And that's definitely a hard process. I kind of regretted it. I was like, maybe I should have put a word cap, but you know what? I did it anyway. And if you did have 1,000 words, maybe you did have a compelling enough story to be here. I would not recommend going that high. I think that your admissions reader is just gonna get tired of you. For college admissions, they give you word limits. They give you specific information about the process. But for summer programs, sometimes they're not that specific. So again, be descriptive, but really be brief. You don't want to write too much. Okay, so a big thing we talked about was perks, right? I really want to emphasize this perk with you guys. It took a while to, get this perk. We did do it last year, but we really amped it up this year because we have so much more members. So we did partner with a AI research company called Consensus. They are an official research company, and you guys can search them up right now. They're called Consensus AI. And this is a really useful tool. So you guys are going to get 1 year free of their pro membership. It's like a dozen or so dollars. I don't know how much it is actually per year, but I know it's a lot. And we have like hundreds of these reserved for you guys, specifically for you guys with your emails. So that's worth thousands of dollars just in this, and we got it for you guys. And it really helps you guys out. So when we're going to be doing our capstone project later on, it's super useful for you guys to find information, understand information, and really read through the research paper. And I want to emphasize something really important. When you're doing research, using AI is not necessarily a bad thing, right? When you have AI as a tool with you, it can really help you narrow down information. It can help you learn more information, and it can help you find papers that are similar to this one, right? And yeah, for those of you guys saying thank you, I got you guys, this is something that this is meant for you guys, right? It's not meant for me. Um, whatever I can do. Like I said, I spent a lot of money on, the posts, the Instagram. I spent money right now on Zoom. This is focused on you guys. This is really an experience for you guys, so I want you guys to take away from it. One thing I want to emphasize is this is a super introductory program. So for those of you guys who are really advanced, I think the biggest thing for you guys is our mini publication. You guys are still learning a lot. You guys are still getting these perks. Like we're partnering with Consensus AI, and then you can present at USC Tech School of Medicine. That's such a rare opportunity that a lot of programs don't offer. You're presenting two people and two research professors at an official medicine or medical school that's affiliated with USC, right? So I'll talk about how you guys do that right now. I think this is it. Okay. We'll go over that next thing later. I'm going to type in the code in the chat. So once you guys are there, it will ask you guys to sign up, put your payment information in and put a code in. So again, these are linked to your email. So just sign up with the email you use for your application. If you put multiple emails or you had a different email from your personal email address, we ask them and we put them in. So because we're recording this meeting, we didn't put it on the slides. I'm going to type it in the chat. That is the code for you guys to use. It'll give you 100% off. It's going to give you the free year membership of their pro membership. I think it asks you for payment information. So if you don't have that, unfortunately, you can't redeem it. Maybe you can ask your parents. Just make sure you cancel it before the 1 year is over. Send like a reminder on your calendar or something like that. So I'll let you guys do that for like a minute. And we're around 4 p.m. So we're going to go over that again. But if you don't have enough time and you have to leave at 4, that's completely okay. Again, there's going to be a recording. Yeah, Shruti?
Sorry, I have to leave at 4, but I wanted to ask this question really quickly, and I know a couple of other people in the chat also had the same question. It was for a couple of the meetings that were like from 1 to 2 p.m. If we have school and we miss those, is that will that like dismiss our ability for like being nominated for like the symposium or like for the research?
Okay, good question. I just realized those are during school hours. I actually didn't realize that when I signed them up. So we'll fix that up. Don't worry. The reason they're set for that time is because our professors they work during school hours, right? So after like around 3 to 4 p.m., they're gone. And the reason they're working so early is because that's their work hours. I'll definitely figure that out with them. Again, I want you guys to have opportunities to meet with them. So if it has to be during a school hour, unfortunately, so be it. Some of you guys are in EST, so that will probably be after school for you guys. So that will happen, but no, it won't affect your capstone eligibility because we totally understand that. And the same thing goes for our international students. For a lot of them, it's like 1 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., somewhere between that morning time where they're sleeping. That's not their fault at all, and they can follow asynchronously. Okay. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That's actually super important. I didn't realize that. So that's super important. Okay. So our first task, guys, everyone smile. So I'm going to stop sharing right now because I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do right after this. But I want you guys to smile big, big, big smiles, okay? I don't see enough smiling going on. I want you guys to smile so big, so much. Okay. It's not enough, guys. Smile more. Come on. Bigger smiles, please. More. Okay, why are you guys not smiling? Okay, I see. Okay. Okay, I'm clipping a couple of you guys. Okay, more smiling. Come on. Don't cover your face. I see you cover. You know who you are if you're covering your face. Smile. Okay. Look good, guys. This is going to be a picture. Okay. Keep smiling. Nice. Okay, hold on. Keep smiling. All right, I think we're good. Just clipped all of you guys. Okay. But so the reason I asked you guys to smile is not just for the pictures. It's actually for a completely different reason. I just decided to take pictures because we do need some pictures, again, for USC administrative purposes and our social media. But the reason I asked you guys to smile is because our first research paper is actually called Infacing Smiles. So I'm going to get that open really quickly. And a super good transition right there, guys. I'm making you guys smile for pictures then. Moving on, isn't that cool? Anyways, so many of you guys may have heard of this type of research study. It's where you smile, and essentially when you smile, you become happier, even if you're faking that smile. So let's say when I had all of you guys smile, the mood kind of lifted there. I don't know if you guys noticed it. You guys kind of got a little happier. It's actually neuroscientifically proven that you guys got a little bit happier. Yes, it is facial feedback hypothesis. Yes, you guys got happier there. So you guys may have not even noticed it, but your mood was just slightly lifted. So, the most important thing is your guys' happiness. That's super important. And then it is super important for our research paper. So I'm going to just go ahead and share that right now. I would have to share my screen. Okay, making sure everything's fine here. Should be good. Okay, so one thing I want to go over really quickly is research papers and databases. So we're on PubMed. I mentioned this earlier. This is basically the biggest publication database for all research. They're pretty much all here. I'll go over this in our next meeting where I'm going to go over all the specifics about PubMed, DOI. You guys are going to need to know this. I'm going to go over specific things. One thing I want to emphasize is that you guys will not need to pay for research papers in this program. So if you guys don't know, research papers are published in journals, and those journals are usually paid. A lot of them are free, but some of them are paid because this is an old school practice where it was usually in paper, but now where everything's online. And so everything was paid back then. And so you used to have to pay for things. You used to have to, you used to have to pay for journals, right? And some of you guys still have to do that, but I don't want you guys to pay. And so I'm going to share with you guys a couple of resources. Our first resource is Unpaywall. It's an extension on Google Chrome, and you can use it on pretty much any browser. For my Safari users, you're alone. Sorry. I'll figure out something for you guys, but I don't know if Unpaywall is on Safari, but it's just like that, Unpaywall. And it gives you access to the journal that's free. So if I click this journal right here, it's going to be the same link over here on Science Direct. And you see that the journal is called Cognition. But there's something super important to notice here is that you have the abstract, you have the introduction, but then it cuts you off. You see everything here is ... They want you to pay, right? This research journal paper right here, this research journal, they want you to pay because they're using their resources to host this paper. Capitalism, they should get paid, but I think that all research papers should be free. I think that research is something for you guys to study. It shouldn't be a paid thing. It's an important thing for you guys. So I'm going to give you guys this link. It's called Sci-Hub. I know it's a little counterintuitive. I'm going to send you guys this link. Basically, when you open one of these links, so I'm going to click Sci-Hub, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you click this, it's going to open this kind of weird looking website. It's safe, I promise. And what you do, when you go to PubMed, I want you guys to copy this, copy the link address, right? This is the DOI link. When you click it, it's going to take you here. So it's not going to work. I need you guys to copy the DOI link. And what you do when you go to this website, you can kind of see I already had it open here for you guys. When you put it in here and you open it, oops, I have the thing. So it's going to ask if you're a robot. You're going to type no or click no. And boom, you have the research paper. It's simple as that, pretty easy. It's all a PDF. This research paper, I chose this one specifically because I think it's super interesting. When you smile, you get happier, and it goes even when you're seeing other people who are sad. If you frown, you're going to be kind of sadder as well, right? And so that's super interesting. And so it's kind of short. It's only 11 pages. When you look at it, it is quite difficult to read through. And so we're going to go over that in our next meeting or so, but I want you guys to try and summarize this. So that's our first task. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. We're going to summarize this paper. And so I'm going to type in the code for the consensus in the chat again. So I'm going to go over research specifics later, but for right now, I'm going to go over some basics. The abstract is basically the summary of a research paper. And so whenever you read a research paper, you can basically just read this and you get a pretty great idea for what the research paper is about. But for your research summaries, I want you guys to do 2 paragraphs. I don't want you guys to just copy and paste the abstract. I want you guys to read through this and summarize it. I want you guys to do as much of it alone as possible, no AI. And this isn't a homework assignment. I'm not grading it. This is meant for you guys, and it's meant for me to gauge how ready you guys are to do this type of project, and where you guys are at with this. So I don't want you guys to think, oh my God, I should just use AI and get it done with so I can submit it. This is for you, right? You using AI, it's not benefiting anybody. There's over 100 of you guys. A lot of you guys are going to do this. So I'm going to have to read through quite a lot of this. If it's AI, it doesn't really make a difference, right? So what I want you to do is try to summarize as much of it alone as possible. And then whatever you can't do, whatever you're super confused about, which is typically the results, I want you guys to, whenever you can't, these results and these graphs are kind of difficult to look at. This might be kind of difficult for you to understand. Then you could put it into AI, probably consensus. I think that's easier to use than like ChatGPT because it's focused on research. And then you can ask, what do I do? And then when you use AI, I want you to specify in your summary that, okay, I use a little bit of AI for this process. That's fine. Like I said, AI is completely normal. A lot of people use it. A lot of researchers, professors, they use AI. It's a tool. It's not like a cheating thing like it is in school. It's an actual tool. So you can specify that you use AI. That's completely okay. I just want to see where people are struggling at and they need a little bit more help on. Lydia?
Sorry, I'm kind of confused. Like you said to use the other website, like this site hub for something.
Yeah.
What exactly are we supposed to be doing?
So no, don't worry. I'm going to send you the link one more time and I'm going to send everything in the Slack. So don't worry if you're not keeping up the chat. It's okay. I'm going to send everything in the Slack so you guys have access to it directly. With this website, all it basically does is it lets you go around the paywall of research papers. So once you do that, you're going to click into one of the links, probably the top one, the RU one, and then you copy and paste the DOI. So I'm going to share the PubMed link as well if you haven't gotten the DOI. Someone put it in the chat, so thank you, Nora. If you go to this PubMed link, all you do is right-click the DOI and click copy link address. And from there, you can then put that into this website, and it'll open this research paper for you. Isabel, you had a question?
Yeah, sorry. Can I just clarify? So essentially, we're reading this research paper and we're supposed to summarize it, if that's what I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
want you guys to do a 2 paragraph. Oh, sorry. Did you?
Yeah, no. I just wanted to ask, it's 2 paragraphs, but like, how long are we talking about paragraphs?
So, okay, wait.
Or is that something that we should gauge personally based off of like what we think?
It's a little bit, yeah, it is kind of based on what you think, but I want the paragraph lengths to be around the abstract length. So each paragraph is around this long, maybe like 5 sentences. So it shouldn't be too long. A summary is meant to be short, but it's really up to your discretion. Yeah.
And then, sorry, just to keep bothering you. Obviously the paper is quite long and, you're going to have an introduction, which explains the background. You're going to have the procedure and everything. Should we be focusing more on the actual kind of results towards the end, or do you want us to also go over like the background research and stuff like that?
Yeah, I want you to do a little bit of both. So the reason we have 2 paragraphs, the first should be a little bit more focused on like the background and then the methods and stuff. And then I want you to focus on the results. So the biggest thing that this summary does is focus on results and discussion. So yeah, I want you to focus on results because if you want to just do background research, you can just read the abstract and it tells you everything about this research paper. But when you read the abstract, you don't really know how did they exactly do it? What were the results? So I want your summary to be focused on that.
And then, sorry, just last question. I'm assuming at the end of the paper, there is going to be a discussion section, like talking about, your strengths and your limitations or whatever of the research. Should that also be included to some extent, at least?
Yep. Like you mentioned, there is a discussion paper or discussion section here. I want you to include that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Vijval?
Sorry, but where do we turn this in?
I'm going to send out a Google form link for this. I didn't have that ready yet because I was I was considering whether or not I thought you guys were ready enough to do this, but I was like, okay, you know what, we'll do it. And then the deadline, I'm gonna still have to figure that out. It's just before our next meeting, which is next Sunday, probably around like Friday, so I can read through some of them. So, and again, if you don't get this done, it's completely okay. It's not that big of a deal. But remember that we are looking for recognitions, leadership. So completing your tasks does help you with this. Someone asked if you should use consensus while completing this. You don't have to, right? Consensus is your tool now. It's whatever you want to do with it. It's up to you. I think that you should, honestly. I think it's going to be really helpful. If I had to summarize this myself right now, it'll take a lot longer than if I was using consensus. And again, please specify where you use AI. I want to see where people are struggling, right? I think kind of like what Isabel was asking, the research and discussions part, which most abstracts are not super in-depth about, those are kind of harder to summarize. And so you might need consensus for that. But to summarize the introduction, I don't think it's that difficult. So you should be able to do that without AI. If you need AI for that, it's okay. Lydia?
Oh, I had like two brief questions. I was just saying like, uh, when you were saying like summarizing, like, are you talking about summarizing the whole article in two paragraphs or summarizing each paragraph in the article with two paragraphs? I'm sorry, I'm like
No, don't worry.
overcomplicating
I
this.
want you to summarize the entire article with 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
So the abstract is 1 paragraph. I want you to do 2, so you're a little bit more specific.
And then also you said that we can use consensus. Can you like, are we basically supposed to be like uploading the article onto the app or something like that? I don't really know exactly how this
You
website works.
can, I believe there is a file option where you can take the file and put it in with consensus. And then you can also put in your link. I don't know. I don't think the link will work because it's closed source, but yeah, I think you should be able to put in the file. If you can't put in the file, which I believe you should, let me know. That's kind of crazy, but you should be able to do that.
All right, thank you.
Yasir?
Sorry, but I just want to check. We're only doing this exact paper as we're writing 2 paragraphs for, right? No other paper.
Yes, just this paper for now.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Julia? Okay, no worries. Camilla?
This kind of ties more back to the capstone project that you were talking about earlier, but I just wanted to know, are we going to get to learn about research methods other than literature review? And are we going to have like an option to pursue a project that is not literature review if we want to?
Yeah, so you can pursue a project that isn't a literature review at your discretion. The reason we're doing literature reviews as our guided process is because that's the easiest to teach you guys within a short amount of time, and that's the easiest to get you guys to complete a capstone project. But if you want to do something that isn't a literature review, it's a lot more solo and independent, and so you're kind of going to be on your own for that. I personally did an independent research project, but that's because I had a mentor, right? If you have a mentor and everything, and you're doing something that's related to an independent research project, and you know what you're doing, 100% go for that. Like again, I asked that question maybe like 30 minutes ago. A lot of people said they have independent projects. Go ahead,
Will we still be able
Julia.
to
You
seek
can.
out help from the,
Oh,
oh,
sorry.
sorry, my bad.
No, who's asking? No, who was asking the question? Was it Camilla? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is my last one, I swear. But if we're doing one that's not literature review, will we still be able to seek out help from like the professors and stuff if they're like able to help?
Yeah. So that's one of the main things that we want to focus on, which is getting you guys help from the professors. Again, I'm not sure how available they'll be for you guys because it's so much bigger. There's 200 of you guys, so it might be a little bit harder for them to help all of you guys, but I will definitely make sure that they help some of you guys and they're able to provide their assistance. Angela?
This is just a question for going forward, but are we gonna keep doing like literature reviews every single week? And is there like for those of us that don't have our own independent project yet, is there like a time we can brainstorm our own ideas?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is a summary. This isn't the literature review right here. The summary itself is not the literature review. The literature review is our final capstone project, which we'll go over. Well, you're basically writing something that looks like this. You'll have an introduction, you'll have a methods, you'll have results, you'll have discussion, you'll have a conclusion. You basically have everything in a research paper, but it's much shorter, it's much simpler, and it's about other research papers, right? It's about other sources that you found online. And so you can brainstorm. I actually suggest that right now you guys brainstorm what you guys want to do, because when we get to the point where we're starting the capstone project and you don't know what to do, it's kind of like, what do I do? You just like search up something and maybe you're not super interested in that. I want you guys to think about what you're interested in right now. And that's one of the reasons we had you guys select on the application what you're interested in and what you want to pursue, because that's something that can help you with this process. Nora?
Yeah, I have two questions. So first, I saw someone ask in the chat, where do we submit these two paragraphs? Is it going to be like a Google form in Slack?
Yeah, exactly. It
Okay.
should just be a Google Form Slack.
And then also, are people who have lab research or they're already conducting research, will those people be like preferred for mini publication or the symposium?
Not exactly. So it's basically just how much work you put in throughout this time and how well your research is. So I guess an independent research project is a lot more impressive and substantial than a literature review. For the mini publications, we're going to try to do as many of you guys as possible. So I wouldn't worry about not getting a mini publication in. I mean, it is going to take a long time for me to do those, but if it means getting you guys in there, I will do it. However, for the capstone presentations, I want it to be focused on neuroscience. Again, we're going to be presenting at a neurogenetic institute. And those ones, the more substantial research projects, they might be preferred.
Okay, thank you.
Tanvi?
I just had a question about like the methods for the literature review. Is it supposed to be like a full-on literature review with like mesh terms and peer review, or is just like reading a few papers fine? Like, what are the guidelines for conducting this literature review?
Yeah, it's super basic. Like you said, it's not going to be peer reviewed or anything. I will have the professors look over as many of your guys' literature reviews as possible, but we're really focused on just getting you guys started on research processes and then doing bibliometrics. So we're gonna go over bibliometrics as well. That's something that a lot of people don't know what bibliometrics is, and so that's something we're gonna teach. And then we're gonna teach you guys how to do how to start that literature review process. So it's super simple.
Oh, I also had another question. How will professors like how exactly will professors help us? Like, will they like I know that there are like a limited amount of professors and a lot of students, so how much guidance are we expected to like get?
Um, I can't confirm that right now. Even just now, I was told, like, I didn't realize that I scheduled meetings during school hours. That's completely my fault. I'm in school during that time too. Um, I'm gonna get you guys as much help as possible. So if you're really struggling, again, the professors are on Slack and their emails are available to you guys. I'm gonna say this right now, because I just mentioned that they have their emails there. Do not email them without a valid reason or like pre-approval, if anything. Like maybe even ask me before you email them, because there's going to be upwards of like 1,000 people in the Slack community once I start inviting people from our exclusive applications, and then also people who are interested in just learning about neuroscience. For you guys definitely have priority over them, like 100% priority over them, because you guys were specifically admitted into this cohort. Even then, I I'd really just ask me before you start emailing them, but it's definitely something that's available to you guys. So I'll try to get you guys as much help as possible. Yasir?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask that if I had like I'm currently working on a research for me, okay? So can I, as you said, we can publish it and that the cost is going to be free as far as I remember you said. So publication for a journal is going to be very welcome or something?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I was kind of distracted.
I know worries. So I'm working on a research on my own now. I would like to link. It's in neuroscience that I would like to link for a professor in USC, for example, or work on with a professor with USC. So does this
Mm.
mean we can like publish it in journals and it will be cost free or something?
I don't think we're going to be covering publication costs. I can reach out to the professors and see if we can do that. Unfortunately, I don't think we can. Um, Something we're going to go over later on is talking about working with the professors. So I'm personally working with the professors on my own research, right? I reached out to them during my year, and a lot of we went over my background, how I presented at a science fair, I won a recognition, I presented at symposiums, I became the program coordinator of this program. All of that started with this program. So you guys are really getting a start here. Um, I see your guys' chat. I promise you I'm gonna answer in a second. Um, you guys are free to leave. I think that we're done with for today. If you have no questions, you are free to leave. I'll post the recording. So you guys can leave. But I'm gonna go over the questions, and then if you have anything else to say, you guys can go over that. So yeah, sir. I don't think we're gonna be able to cover publication costs.
Okay, no worries. But also, we're gonna be assigned projects by professors. Is that right? As I read on the USC website, USC Neuro Scholars website.
Yeah. So some of the assignments that we're giving are everything that I'm doing is pre-approved by the professors. So they always have a say in this, and they're always giving their feedback on this. So don't worry.
Thank you so much.
Kayla?
I was just wondering for the independent projects, like if they have to be fully fledged or it could be like partially, like if you have certain results.
Yeah. So for the capstone projects, it's ongoing research. So like I mentioned, it does not have to be completed. When I presented my research, I wasn't done with my research. We pretty much just started. But we had so much data that I was able to present fully and become a capstone presenter. So if you have ongoing research that isn't completed, you can 100% present it as long as there's enough substantial information to present.
Okay, thank you.
Vachan?
So I know that Sci-Hub has like a 2021 cutoff for the papers. So if it's like after 2021, should we just use Untable or something?
So I actually didn't realize that for Sci-Hub. I'll find another resource for you guys. But most of our research papers, I'm going to be finding free ones or ones that are published by the professors. And I'm sure the professors are going to give them to you guys for free, right? They're not going to
Okay,
withhold
yeah.
them to you guys. It's their research papers. They can do whatever they want with them. So don't worry about that. If anything, I'll make sure that you guys have access to everything that we're reviewing.
Okay, thank you.
Geraldina?
I think you might have answered this earlier, but I just wanted to double check, like, if you were gonna send the recording since I joined late, so I wasn't able to, like, see the whole meeting.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
we're going to be posting the recording to our YouTube channel. I'm going to send the YouTube channel to the Slack community. I actually want you guys to, oops, I'm like opening a lot of things right now. Oops, I didn't even realize I'm still sharing. Yeah, where did I go? Sorry. We're gonna open the YouTube channel open to you guys, and we're gonna put it in the Slack community. And then I'm gonna have all the recordings posted there. So I want you guys to go check that out, go follow it up, share it with people, I don't know, people who are interested in neuroscience so they can learn something. I mean, maybe not this first meeting, there wasn't much taught here. It's more introductory, but yeah. Sarah?
Yeah, so if like our interest like kind of lies outside of neuroscience, like for example, mine is genetics. For our capstone project, if we just sort of like tie that to neuroscience, like if I do neurogenetics, is that like fine? Or
Yeah.
does it have to be like very specific? Like will we like you mentioned earlier, okay, we're gonna be assigned projects. So like will that be related to what we put in the form? Because I genuinely don't remember what I wrote in that form. So
Yeah, no,
like
don't
yeah,
worry.
changed, yeah.
So when I said assign tasks, I mean something like summarizing a research paper
Oh.
or presenting in our meetings, presenting something that we're working on together, not your capstone project. That's completely up to you. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Thank you.
Vihan?
Yeah, so like how will the people get selected to like present in the symposium?
So it's unconfirmed. Right now we're thinking about 20 people, around like 5 minutes per presentation, which is really short if you really think about it. For an entire research project, 5 minutes is quite short. So even 20 is pushing it. We're gonna have to see how many we can fit in. But we do have the entirety of that Saturday reserved for us at USC School of Medicine. And so we're gonna be asking you guys how long you're willing to stay over there, right? It's not plausible for you guys to stay 8 hours and sit through 8 hours of presentation straight. So we're planning on very, very short presentations and very few people. But yeah, so around 20 people.
So like is there gonna be like a Google form or something, like an application process?
Yeah, there will be an application process, and then the professors and I will personally review each project to see who will present.
Okay, bye. Thanks.
Yeah. And then before, I want to emphasize that it's not the main USC campus, it's USC Keck School of Medicine. They're different. we're going to be really emphasizing that when the time comes because we don't want you guys to travel to the wrong campus. That's not going to end up great for you guys and just be there alone. But yeah. Okay, Satvika?
Okay, so if so for people who are working on their on individual projects outside of here, if our independent research is also a literature review, like are we allowed to present literature reviews at the symposium?
Yeah, for sure. So if your literature review is super strong, like you really did your research, you really knew what you were doing, you have all these references, you have such a substantial literature review. Again, our literature review, we're not expecting much of you guys. It's really, really basic. And so most literature reviews are not substantial enough to, you know, earn a, like realistically have a position to present at a capstone project symposium at USC School of Medicine. And so but it's 100% possible. We had people from last year present their literature reviews in our symposium. Even we had other people who did in-person research and they got rejected over someone who did a literature review. So if your literature review is that substantial, you're definitely a competitive candidate.
Okay. And I had one more thing.
Mhm.
So, like, I don't live in California, but if I were to be able to present, I might be able to make it. So, like, what if I were to like apply and if I got it, if I if I'm not able to make it, would that be held against me or like
So we're going to be asking specifically about availability at the Keck School of Medicine thing. I'm going to actually stress this on the Slack community. I should have said this before everybody left, but the reason we had you guys sign those forms when you guys applied, and the reason we have all these liabilities, these release forms, the videos is mainly for the meetings, right? Recording these, but all the release forms, that's for when we go to USC, right? You guys are pretty much all of you guys are minors. A couple of you guys might be 18 or a little older. We have some undergrads because you guys were seniors when we applied, but it's still summer. Um, and so the reason we have all that paperwork, it's so important that we have every information. We have your parents' information, we have your information, and we have specific availability. Like we have you RSVP, like you can for sure attend. If it's like I might be able to attend, you're not gonna be like, we're not gonna hold that against you and be like, okay, you're definitely not presenting at the Capstone Project Symposium. Like you can still present, but it's something that we're gonna have to consider because if someone can definitely attend and their project's at the same level as yours and you might not be able to attend, then that's something that's a problem. But like I mentioned before, we're gonna have people present virtually as well, or at least that's the goal because some of you guys can't make it in person, but you do have a really good project and we want you guys to be spotlighted.
okay, so how early would we find out if we made it or like are able to present?
Yeah, so the symposium itself is September 5th.
Mhm.
So we're getting everything set up administratively like right now. You have to do everything really early. For those of you who are gonna attend and present, we're gonna probably find that out by the last week of August or so, somewhere around that time. So we're gonna get started on capstone projects pretty much like second, third, maybe fourth meeting. We're gonna get moving straight from there, and you guys are gonna have to do a lot of things independently.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yash.
I didn't have a question, but I just want to say thank you, one, for the opportunity and like thank you for your time and like your effort because like reading 2,000 applications is definitely like not easy. So I just want to say thank you and yeah, that was about it. Hope you have a good day, bro.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude.
Dude.
Honestly, yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard. I'm so sorry that, results are like a month late.
No,
And
no,
believe
no.
me, I've seen the Reddit posts. I've seen people say like lock in Samyang.
Yeah,
And so
bro,
I'm like,
like 2,000, that's like a lot. And you're the only reader, right?
I mean, the professors read a little bit, but they were mostly there for like when we're like really struggling on is it this person or this person. So pretty much I read most of it and I read pretty much all of it. Yeah.
All right, but I just want to say thank you. Yeah, have a good day, bro.
Thank you, you too. And yeah, it was actually more than 2,000. It was like up in the 2000 some hundreds. We're not being specific on that because we want it to be like, okay, just above 2,000. I don't want to be like 2,390, whatever, somewhere around
Yeah.
there, but it's really high. But yeah, so it was definitely a process. Thank you so much.
All right, see you, bro.
Pranavi?
So I know you probably answered this question before. I do have two questions, but one of them was if we can't make it to a meeting, will that like be held against us, like counted towards like the symposium, or Like, do we have like resources to view that or?
So for meeting attendance, if you let me know beforehand, it shouldn't be a problem typically. It has to be a valid excuse. If it's like really, you know, I can't attend because I have like a party or something like. I know like some gatherings you can't control, but it needs to be like a good valid reason. A lot of students are international, so they can't attend like any meetings. For them, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be leadership roles because we need someone who's around the time zone of the West Coast of America. It could be EST, it could be before, before PST, but preferably PST. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you're not in California, you can't be it, but it's likely going to be someone from California because of the in-person symposium, right?
Mhm.
So that's something to consider. If you're not from California, you can still be the program coordinator. Don't get me wrong, but it is a little less likely.
Got it. And also, like for communication, like will we be will we be able to message you on Slack or do we have to like email you like directly? Which one's like the best way like to communicate with you?
Honestly, Slack is fine. Email are for more of the formal things. Like when I have you guys submit more paperwork, we're gonna have to do a little bit more paperwork before the in-person capstone symposium. I'm probably gonna do that through email, so I have a record and a log of everything going on. But for just telling me you're not gonna attend, you can just message me on Slack. It should be fine.
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming. Piyush, if I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you said it right. Sorry, I don't know if you said this already, but like, let's say like you can't attend the symposium, like how would like an online way work? Like, let's say you still want to like attend it, like maybe if you're not presenting either, but you still want to like see everyone's stuff.
Yeah, sure. So we're going to be in a seminar room. And so that room will have like a podium, it'll have like a projector and a screen behind us. So if it does come to the case where we have a virtual presenter, we're going to have you present on the board, right? The projector. And again, your project has to be super substantial to be preferred over someone in person. So this is really focused on that USC aspect. You're around here. But again, some virtual presentations are super, super amazing. And so if you do reach that point, we'll have you just present virtually on Zoom and we'll present you on the board.
Okay, like what like it was like let's say like you like don't get selected to present, but like you still want to attend it virtually. Can you still do that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're going to have it be a hybrid thing so you guys can attend and watch virtually.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Sarah?
So this is kind of unrelated to this, but the release form that we had, I sent that to you like as a reply to your email, but the problem with that was like there was a small mistake in it. So I sent that again, but as a separate email. Is that okay, or should I like send it somewhere else? Like,
That's okay. That's okay.
thank you.
hmm Amelia?
Hi, sorry. I don't know if you answered this already, but for the capstone projects, is it individual or like if we wanted to do like with another person, would that be possible?
Yeah, so that's actually something we're going to go over in our later meetings, but you kind of beat me to it. Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing like group stuff. So if you guys want to do it in a group, I know I have been asked this before, and I told them like, yeah, like I was just telling them like keep it on the down low. But
Okay.
yeah, we're definitely going to be doing things in groups if you want them to. We're we want to focus on independent work because when it comes to presenting at like USC, if you guys are doing a group project and one of you can make it, one of you can't, we're probably going to have you not present because it's kind of unfair to the other person. So I want you to like I mean, do you have like friends who applied here as well? Is that why you're asking?
Um, well, not really. I don't know. I'm just
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm just wondering. Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, maybe you'll I mean, I want you guys to make friends here. You guys are definitely getting to know people. And yeah, so if you guys want to do a group project, I'm going to put that in the Slack actually. I should probably just let you guys know now, that you can definitely do a group project. And I think max maybe like 4 people in a group. I'll
Okay.
see, maybe 5, 6 people, but not more than that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks for asking. Yeah. Camilla?
Hi, I had two questions. First, I just want to ask if you could show the schedule for the meetings again.
Yes, of course. Give me 1 second. I think that's it. Oh yeah, I have the slide for you guys. Yeah, for sure. It is right here. Um, for the Friday and Monday date, those were you. Those are like actually like the confirmed dates, but now they're kind of the very unconfirmed dates because I just realized they're during school hours. I'm gonna be in school. Um, if it comes to it, I I'd miss that specific portion of my school just for the meeting. I'd do it. Um, but I have to see. I'm going to work with the professors to see when they're available. So this is very tentative, okay? I want you guys to just understand that it's sensitive. I think the next two Sundays, they should be pretty confirmed. They should be okay. Um, the Saturday, August 29th, that should also be okay. Um, actually, I'm not so sure about the Saturday because I bought the Zoom business thing today, which is the 26th, and it expires the 26th. And if I don't want to buy it just for one more meeting, so we might meet like on a Wednesday or something, right? Um, but yeah, so I'd say maybe these three meetings are pretty confirmed. Again, everything is subject to change, and I'll let you guys know beforehand. So I'm sorry that it might come to that, but again, the professors are super busy. People are changing availabilities, so it's very unconfirmed. But this is what we have right now.
All right, and then my second question was just about because I remember you were saying that we're gonna start our capstone projects during like on the fourth meeting, and I'm just a little confused about why that is since we only have 6 meetings. And then I remembered you said that like part of the criteria for us to get selected for the showcase was to sort of like for us to show that like we really like put in a lot of work on this project, and I just don't see how that's possible to the extent that I think the university would expect in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I said we'd start around the second, third, latest fourth meeting. So we're probably gonna get started earlier than that. So I want to clarify that that doesn't mean we're
Oh,
gonna get started on
okay.
the fourth meeting. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My bad. I'm
So
so sorry.
no, you're okay. So I want you guys to get started as soon as possible. I think our second meeting is gonna be more of a lesson. So we're probably gonna get started around the third meeting. The reason it might seem like, oh, we only have three more meetings, but that's 3 weeks of work. And I think that in 3 weeks you can definitely get a pretty good literature review in if you're really working throughout that time. Because again, it's during summer, most of it. School would start around somewhere between this time for you guys. So I'd understand if it's a little bit more complicated for you guys. So I'm going to try to get started as soon as possible. Um, and another thing I want to emphasize, I talked about this before, you can turn in something that's ongoing, right? So after our in-person capstone symposiums, you guys can still work on your research reviews and I can still help you guys out, right? We might even have more meetings after this date just for you guys to work on your capstone projects.
All right, thank you.
hmm Joanna?
Hi, yeah. So more for clarification, the in-person symposium, if you're not chosen to present your capstone, you're still welcome to attend as an attendee, right?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Got it. Isma, is that how you pronounce it?
Close. It's Isma.
Isma, okay.
Yeah, no worries. So I was wondering about the leadership roles. How would the application process work? Like, when are the dates for the application cycles? And then what are other like prerequisites other than preference for students who are in the PST timeframe?
Yeah, for sure. So again, it's people who they show that they have the knowledge for their research background. So I'd highly recommend putting like your accomplishments. Like if you went to a science fair, if you want a research award, put that on there. That's going to be in the application. But it's also about what you did during this specific program. Like again, I talked about it a little bit. This is really broad. I know it's super broad. Like be active, be kind. What does that really mean? But if you're really doing your tasks and your research project is really great, like it's like I can look at it and the professors can look at it and be like, wow, this person really did that. That's like the biggest factor for the program coordinator role. Again, I think like I mentioned, the Pacific thing is super important because we want someone who can travel to USC and work with the professors. So if they're around the California area, that's probably the preferred person for program coordinator. But I do want to also stress that there are more roles than just program coordinator. We have a bunch of these roles, and these can be pretty much anybody. Like you can post on our social media from you know across the country, from across the world. You could be in like Europe and do it. So um, I I know program coordinator is kind of like the wanted golden role, but I do think that these roles are pretty um, they're pretty up there as well. And it's not going to be called like social media team. It's going to be like you're going to have a title that sounds cool just for you. Like I probably going to like VP of like media or something. Something cool. So it sounds like you're doing something because you are doing something, right? It's not going to be like executive director and then like social media intern, right? That's like lame, you know? Okay. Kara, is it Kara?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was wondering, wait, I hope you didn't touch on this yet, or else I'll be really embarrassed that was asked. But are you gonna provide any like resources like compare like last year's project we could see, like capstones, so like we have an like idea of like the content like quality and like how much was presented, so we could have like a good idea for a capstone project?
Yeah, 100%. So I can share this with you guys right now. I have it open here. This is our virtual symposium. I'm not going to go through the whole video, but I will go through this. This is kind of what our mini publications look like. I'm going to make it a little bit more tidied up than this is kind of like, we just put this here just so we will have it, but you can see my project is a spotlighted one. This is an official research project, so you can see if I zoomed in, you can see that the professor is actually there. I worked on it with the Dr. Winston. And you can actually go through this here, I believe. Like if I clicked, or I can scroll, I think. I think. You can see it there, right? There you go. There you go. So I talked about specific proteins. I talked about Alzheimer's disease. Again, that was Dr. Winston's focus. You can see that I have like a whole demographic table. I had a database. We worked with real results and real graphs. So I don't know if this is like considered advanced to you or not. We worked with an actual database with real participants, real people. But again, this was a real research project, not a literature review. So this was much more advanced. Some of these were, I don't know if this is a literature review or not. But you can see it's a lot more, it's a lot more basic. Again, we want you to focus on results. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do like results and graphs on like Excel or Sheets or something like that, because visuals are super important. As long as you portray your story and it's like you can read it and be like, wow, this is a good research project, it should be good enough.
Thank you so much. You answered that really well. Thank you.
Of course, thank you. Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions? I see that there's still like a lot of you here. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm sorry I asked a lot of questions, but I want to
It's
ask
okay.
if I may get a transcript export for the Zoom meeting because I did not attend it fully. I came like I was in the chess tournament, so I came like 30 minutes late. Can I get like a TXT or the text the transcript file, please, if possible?
Yeah, I'll see if I can do that. But if not, we'll have a recording. I think the recording is easier. We're recording it, so I'm gonna post the recording on YouTube, and then we'll send that YouTube link out to you guys. For the transcript file, it's going to be, I mean, this meeting is already like an hour and 20 minutes. We went way over our time, which I'm glad that you guys are asking questions. That's actually like, I'm happy to go over the time. As long as you guys are willing to be here, that's fine with me. So I think I'll do the recording. I think that's easier.
I'm sure because I could just say like summarize it, but it's all right. No worries.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get you a transcript. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions, anybody? Yeah. Yingling, is that?
Yeah, Yingling. You could just call me Lynn. So I have like some questions about like the research portion. Like, so I'm also doing like a personal research, but like I'm stuck on like the method section because like I can't like go to a real lab yet, right? Or like get real data yet. So can it be like a predicted data or method?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure you emphasize that it's predicted because when we present research, we're gonna have to, it's super important that you're like specific. So just make sure you emphasize that it's predicted data. But that's still good enough as long as you provide like a basis for your prediction. Like, did you use like a specific formula or something?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks so much. Any more questions, anybody? Okay, I want to say before you guys leave, thank you guys so much again. Make sure you guys do that consensus thing. That was, it took a little bit of back and forth. They originally they gave me 10, and I managed them to give me hundreds. So it was a lot of negotiation, I promise you. And I did it for you guys, and still sharing my screen, aren't I? Again, it's super important that you guys get as much as you can out of this. Something I focused on in the Slack community is networking. Like I think somebody mentioned it here. I don't see their name anymore. I think they left. They mentioned doing group projects, right? Um, make friends here, right? That's such a big thing. These people are like everyone here around you is also interested in neuroscience or research or something in general. They're probably just like, you know, they're super interested in working. And so I'm like losing my I don't know what to say right now. But yeah, really it's a great networking opportunity. I'll say that. I think I networked with a lot of people. I submitted I'll give you an example. I submitted to a research competition with another student that I worked with in the last cohort. I got published with like 5 other students that were in the last cohort. I worked with a couple students. One of them actually went to my school in the last cohort. We worked together on presenting. A couple of students at the fair were people from the cohort, so we worked together. We were just, we hung out. It's things like that. It's like the really little things about like, I know this person or like um, working with this person has really helped me learn more, or I can do something with them that is super important. And this is the best way to do it because finding people on like Reddit or like online that are really willing to do it or are trustworthy or like as interested as you, it's not the same, right? And everybody here, they went through the same process as you. They applied for this program, they got into this program, they know who Samyon is, right? So I think that's definitely something that's worth it. Nahum, I see you have a question.
Yeah, so you brought up consensus. So I was just wondering whether you have any like tips for it because I'm like, I have never really seen this before. So like what are some tips on using it? Like how should we be using it to like really maximize it?
Yeah, I got you. So make sure first of all, redeem the pro. That's definitely gonna help you out. I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a link to Consensus's information page. They have a little bit more information there for you. Um, I think the biggest thing is just play around with it, right? So when you play around with it, you can see that you can put in research papers. You could ask it to summarize for you. You can ask it to understand something. You can ask it to interpret graphs. You can ask it to find similar research papers, find references. If you're writing, let's say you're writing a research review, a literature review, and you're like, what can I do to where can I find research that's related to this topic? You can ask consensus. You can ask consensus. I'm doing research on X, Y, and Z. Let's say you're doing research on OCD, right? That's a psychological topic that relates to neuroscience. You can ask it, what are some good bases? What are some good papers that can help me with this specific topic? Just be specific though. Like if you're really broad, it's not gonna help you that much.
All right, thank you.
Of course. Make sure you guys check the chat. I see you guys are sharing your Instagrams. It's definitely a way to connect. Um, I might add a couple of you guys as well. All right, any last questions before we head off for the day? This recording is gonna be quite long. It's gonna take like 20 minutes to upload to YouTube. But I'm free to answer any more questions. And if you're like struggling, you're like, I might have a question, you can always ask me on the Slack. Preferably if it's like a question that you feel comfortable asking publicly, ask it in the admitted scholars chat so that when I answer it, others can see your answer or my answer rather than DMing it just to me. Um, yeah, so that's my biggest tip. So I think we're done for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. It means a lot to me. And for our next meeting, I want you guys to convince as many people to come as possible because I spent like $25 on Zoom Business. And, I was thinking about it. Someone said Google Meet. This is going to be kind of informal here. Like someone said Google Meet, and I was like, oh my God, I should just do Google Meet. But I looked it up. It also has a 100% limit. I tried using my school account, which has like a pro enterprise thing, but only people in my school district can join that. So I was like struggling. I was like, what should I do? And I was like, okay, you know what? I can't keep people waiting. I just bought it. So that's definitely a struggle. So make sure you guys join the meetings, please. Get people to join the meetings. That's my biggest thing. Make sure you guys do your summaries, right? I forgot to mention that when people left. Do your summaries. Um, so yeah, just do your summaries. And I think that's all I have for today. Again, thank you guys so much for coming. That's all I have. Goodbye, guys.